So the other day on Twitter, I saw this tweet and it refers to this paper over here. So I got into looking into the paper and it was about attention, which I had just done a lesson on attention heads in transformers. So I was interested in this topic. I took a look and kind of started digging deeper on it. And I thought it was interesting because it addresses a big issue that I think a lot of us have faced if you're using LLMs with long context windows. A lot of the more recent ones have 128,000 context windows. Obviously, the frontiers, a lot of them have a million context windows. But once you get to a certain point, you'll notice the performance gets a lot worse. It gets slow. The LLM itself will start performing worse. It's actually a big issue. So these kind of innovations in attention are actually really key to this. So in today's video, I wanted to dive deep into this concept of attention and then run an experiment to see if I could apply some of the concepts in this paper to an actual model itself and get similar results in terms of speed and performance. So watch the end to see the results I get and see what kind of tool I'm able to build with this. I will be sharing, everything will be open sourced, so I'll share that towards the end of the video. But first, what is attention? When a language model reads text, each word needs to figure out which other words are relevant to it. That process is called attention. So think of it like being in a room full of people. You ask a question, and to answer it well, you need to look around and figure out who has the useful information. Attention is the model to doing that, and this is part of transformers. You have to check each previous word to decide who you have to listen to. And we have this interactive demo here. I click cat and the lights up. Click sat, and you need to have all three of the words. Click mat, you see. The word mat attends directly to sat because it's talking about the location where this action happened. You click it, and it highlights cat because it in this sentence, the cat sat on the mat and it purred. It is referring to cat, right? So when you get to it, you need to go back and see which word it's actually referring to. And if you click purred here, you could see what purred, the cat and it, which was on the mat. This kind of demo shows how words in a sentence are related. So the key thing to understand is that each word checks every word that came before it, not just the word right next to it, right? Every single one. So for one sentence or a short text like this is fine, but for longer text, it becomes a problem. So the issue here is that attention doesn't scale. 10 words, you could check 10 people, that's not a problem. But 128,000 words, you have to check 128,000 people for every single word, using our analogy of people in the room. So we measured this actually on the Qwen 3 billion parameter model, and each layer takes 12 to 26 milliseconds at 128,000 tokens. You multiply that by 36 layers, and you're looking at almost a full second just for the attention step alone. It's far too slow to be workable. And the cost grows quadratically, which means that double the input length actually doesn't just do double, it's 4 times the work. And this is a fundamental bottleneck in long context language models. So how do we handle this? There's a few approaches models use to deal with this, and the original version was this MHA, multi-head attention. And this is the original version used by GPT-2, GPT-3, Llama 1. Every attention head, and think of heads as parallel workers, each looking for different patterns, it gets its own separate memory. This works well, but it uses a ton of memory, as you can imagine, because you're storing separate key and vector values for every single head. GQA is grouped query attention, and it's what most modern models use, Llama 3, Qwen 2.5, Mistral. Instead of every single head getting its own memory, groups of heads share the same key value memory. For instance, Qwen 2.5 has 28 query heads, but only 4 key value heads. So every group of 7 query heads shares one set of key value memory, and this cuts the memory footprint dramatically while keeping most of the quality. Flash attention is just an optimization on the speed, not an architectural change, so it gives exactly the same result even if it's faster. And most modern models use this flash attention version. But here's the key thing that none of these solve. Every word still checks every other word. GQA here makes the memory smaller, flash attention makes the computation faster, but the quadratic scaling issue remains. Every person in the room has to look at every other person. So the question is, what if we could skip the irrelevant words entirely? And that's exactly what DeepSeek tried. In their version 3 model, they introduced what's called DSA, Dynamic Sparse Attention. It's also referred to as DeepSeek Sparse Attention. Over here, they call it DeepSeek Sparse Attention. So you may see both in the literature, just to keep in mind. So DeepSeek's innovation was to quick scan everything first and then only listen carefully to the relevant ones. So think of it like speed dating. Instead of having deep conversations with every person in the room, you do a quick 5-second scan of everyone first. Does this person meet my basic requirements? And then you could sit down and have real long conversations only with those that you think are a promising match. So in practice, for each word, DSA does a quick dot product, basically a similarity score, against every key in the context. And you can see in this visualization, these green ones are selected, the dark ones are skipped, and the blue one, barked here, is the current word that's deciding who to think about. So basically, DSA does a quick scan of everything, finds which words, which tokens are most important, and then attends fully to just them. But there's a catch. In order to find these tokens, these smaller group of tokens, DSA still had to do that quick scan of every token, right? At 128,000 tokens, that scan alone can take 12 to 26 milliseconds per layer. The attention computation gets cheaper, but the selection step still touches on everything. It's faster than having a full conversation, but it still requires that full scan at the beginning. And this is what HISA intends to fix. HISA stands for Hierarchical Indexed Sparse Attention, and the insight is pretty simple. The room, the sentence or text in this case, is organized already into sections. So why interview every single person when you can first ask each section, hey, does anyone here know about this token? So it does this by splitting these into blocks. You have 128 tokens grouped into blocks of 128. So you end up with a little over 1,000 block summaries instead of the entire 128,000 individual tokens you're looking at. So these highlighted blocks get attention and the rejected blocks are skipped entirely. You don't even need to scan them. And that is part of the stage 1, which is selecting these blocks. Stage 2 is within these relevant blocks. You score tokens within each of the selected blocks, and then pick the top candidates from there. So you end up with the 1,000 plus block summaries, plus a little over 8,000 token scores for each of the relevant blocks. So you end up with around 9,000 total operations, and compare that to DSA, which had the original 128,000 operations for this attention level. And the nice thing is that this scales really well. As context gets longer, HISA barely slows down because you're always selecting the same number of blocks regardless. So this is the results of the paper I was telling you about. This one, there's been several papers on this topic of sparse attention, but this is the one we're looking at today. It looked at DeepSeek version 3 and GLM5. They reported 2 to 4 times faster token selection, and they were using custom fused GPU kernels with essentially zero quality loss and zero retraining needed. So it was a plug-and-play replacement for the DSA itself. So obviously these researchers had a very advanced setup, but I wanted to see if I could somehow recreate the concept itself using my simple RTX 3060 on a normal consumer PC. So this was the plan, basically, to just bolt HISA into a Qwen 2.5 3 billion parameter stock model. And this model, like I said, is a normal GQA attention model. So the model's attention layers normally project the input into queries, keys, and values, and then compute the full attention. So we intercept that process. What I did is I let the model do its normal Q, K, and V projections, but then we stepped in. We ran this HISA block scoring on the keys themselves, figure out which blocks are relevant, physically gather only the selected key and value entries, and then created smaller tensors, and then compute attention only on those, that smaller set. So obviously this isn't a perfect recreation of what they did in the paper, but it recreated the philosophy at least. And the nice thing is the model didn't know anything was changed. You get the same attention output format. From the outside, you call model.generate the same way as always. It's just under the hood, you get to skip a lot of the attention computation. Now, to be perfectly transparent, this did not go, I did not one-shot this. This took a lot of trial and error, as you would imagine. So it's worth showing that as well. So one of the mistakes we had is with the text sample we were using, it just contained a small repeated text. So that resulted in every block looking identical. HISA had nothing to work with because every block was the same. So we replaced that with a very large novel, Pride and Prejudice, so that it would be more reflective of real text, not repeated. Issue 2 we came up with was that the set block count equaled the selected count. HISA ended up selecting every block, which is not the same as using it. So at first we were getting perfect accuracy, and I was very excited, but it ended up being meaningless, obviously. So we had to properly scale the parameters to avoid this. And the other issue we came into is that we couldn't get past 32,000 tokens because we were using the wrong attention backend, which was very memory inefficient. So we switched it out with a more efficient memory backend, which allowed us to run tests properly. My computer crashed many times nonetheless, but we were able to get some results from it. So after fixing those issues and several other small bugs, we were able to measure how fast HISA finds important tokens compared to DSA, scanning every single token. So this is the DSA results where it has to do that quick scan of everything. HISA, which only use the blocks. You can see at 64,000 context, it was up to a 2x. But when we got to 128,000 context, and that's really where you saw the difference, because HISA, like I said, doesn't increase that much. Whereas with DSA, you had to, obviously, you're going from 2.4 milliseconds to 26 milliseconds on the high end. So our speed up went from around up to 2x to 7 to 14x, actually. DSA's cost grows with context length, but HISA stays nearly flat because it's always scoring the same number of block summaries, regardless of how long the input is. So if you could do an even longer context window, up to 1 million, you would probably see even better speed advantages to this. So the speed advantage is great, but if the model starts generating garbage, right, none of it matters. So we had to test the quality as well, and we use this with perplexity. Perplexity is a standard metric for language model quality. It measures how well the model predicts the next word. So lower perplexity means less surprise, which means better predictions. So you're aiming for lower. So you can see the score here. Dense just means the stock attention method that Qwen 2.5 uses. It got 19.68. And then our HISA adaptation using sparse attention got actually 18.67, which is slightly better actually. And just as a sanity check to make sure that it wasn't just like any sparse attention could work, we did a random sparse attention picker, and you could see it got terrible score there. So it actually was effective, not just random. So I was a little surprised that it actually got slightly better, but this has actually been seen in the research before. When the model attends to everything, the attention weights get spread thin across thousands of irrelevant tokens. Each one gets a tiny sliver of focus. By forcing the model to concentrate on fewer, more relevant tokens, the signal-to-noise ratio improves. Think of it like removing background noise from a recording. So this was with the Qwen 2.5 model, and right now I'm going to run a live test on a Llama model. It has a similar attention method to the Qwen one, but it's obviously a different model. I just want to make sure that these results kind of stand up regardless of which model you use. I'm going to do now a live test using this one, Llama 3.2 3B Instruct, which also has 128K context. So we're going to run the same kind of test here, testing the speed and the quality, comparing the baseline, what they're using naturally, that GQA method, with our HISA implementation here. Okay, so it's running the quality test on the Llama. Had some struggles here, but I think we're finally getting somewhere. So this is just to show that it wasn't just with the Qwen results error, to see how well it runs on a different type of model. Same attention method Llama and Qwen use, but obviously different models. Okay, so it finally ran, and these are the quality tests, and perplexity is our benchmark. And here the term dense just means kind of the baseline attention method that Llama uses. You could see 19.51 as the baseline. Then we ran some of the sanity checks just to make sure everything was working properly, and they all passed. You could see how it compares with DSA and with the HISA at 50%. Slightly higher, 19.95, more than dense, but not a huge difference. It's not like it's jumping up to this random 417. Very small and should have a negligible impact on the actual quality. So with Qwen, it had a slightly positive effect, and with this one, it had a slightly negative effect, but generally we can say that there's not a huge gap in terms of quality. So now we're going to run the speed test to see how fast it has gotten. Because it's not really meant to improve quality, the key here is to improve speed. Okay, we got our results back. Took a little while, but the Llama results are in. It's the same patterns that we saw with Qwen. So the indexer speed at 64K context on Llama 3, 3.2, 3B. You could see the later layers show up to 4x speed up, which is consistent with what we saw with the Qwen model. And the quality test confirmed a negligible PPL impact. So there's going to be some variance, but I think generally the trend you could see is that the quality is roughly the same, a little better or a little worse, and then the speed up is pretty significant. So we got good results from these early tests, this kind of bolted on indexer. I wanted to see if I could actually create a plugin to basically bolt this onto any GQA model and have these speed up advantages. Now, most of the options were using Linux or hardware that I just didn't have access to. I'm just on a normal PC. So I did this in PyTorch. And all in all, it's around 300 lines of Python. So I've been testing this and trying to optimize it in several ways. These were two of the optimizations I did. One using cross-layer prediction, which made it 40% faster, and then adaptive sparsity, which boosted it another 11% faster. So you can find this right now on Tombi Studio, GitHub, HISA-PyTorch. Please take a look at it yourself. This is very much an experiment. This is not a production release at all, and by the time you're seeing this, I probably tweaked it several other times. But I thought it was an interesting experiment into different attention methods. So while the plugin itself is pretty buggy and needs a lot of work, I was able to get some results from it. So this is a complete model forward pass, not just the attention selection, the entire thing, including projections, feed forward layers, everything. And this is on the Qwen 2.5 model I was talking about, the 3 billion parameter. And the dense just means the stock version, the baseline, what it came with. And the HISA plugin is what we built. You can see at 4,000 context, it was 2.3 times faster. And at 8,000 context, it was 9.3 times faster. And kind of interesting, at 16,000 and 32,000, I wanted to run more tests, but the actual stock version crashed on me. And this is just because it couldn't run on my GPU, my 12 gig GPU. But we were able to actually run through the full test when I had the plugin enabled, which is kind of interesting. It kind of suggests that this method doesn't just make the model faster, it lets it handle context lengths that it physically couldn't before. And keep in mind, this is all with 0 lines of custom CUDA code. This is pure PyTorch running on Windows on my consumer GPU. So these were the results I got. Please double check my work if you're interested in this. I double checked it. I think these are accurate numbers, but please, if you're more knowledgeable about this stuff than me, please take a look at this plugin and try to tear it apart or try to suggest ways to improve upon it. It would be pretty great if you could just have a simple plugin for local models that could speed up in longer context windows. So what does this prove? We proved that HISA does work. It results in faster speeds at longer context windows without any recognizable quality loss. But we could obviously build on this a lot, and there's a lot of research going on in this area. Some suggestions of where we can go next is using fused GPU kernels, using flash attention to increase the speed even more, using KV cache eviction during generation, production integration. Someone has already suggested using VLLM, which I might try. I haven't tried to use that before, but it could be a good idea. And if I have access to larger GPUs, I'd like to test it at even larger context. Because as we see new models coming out, the context windows are going to get even larger. And these kind of speed up methods are going to become absolutely crucial in order to have LLMs, especially local LLMs, that can handle large context windows without being dreadfully slow. So I hope you found this video interesting. I was pretty interested doing this kind of research on something that addresses a real issue for LLMs. Please leave a comment. What are your thoughts on attention methods? How would you approach it? What are your thoughts on this recent research on sparse attention? And if you liked the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.